Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is pretty much a continuation of yesterday. We're doing more sine and cosine, and your homework's going to be mostly sine and cosine. Okay? Crystal, could you put that away, please? Then get a calculator out. Okay, so we are looking at this triangle right here. And so this is more of what we did on your homework yesterday that I don't think was explained well enough. If I want to find the sine of each of these things, so I'm going to find everything according to A. So I'm going to find the sine of A, the cosine of A, and the tan of A.
You gotta find all three.
Okay, this is really easy. If we're looking at A, we know this side is the opposite, this side is the adjacent, and this side is the hypotenuse. Okay? Opposite over hypotenuse is sine. So that's 4 over 5. That's it, you're done. Cosine of A would be adjacent over hypotenuse, so you should have 3 over 5. Okay? And for the tangent of A, you should have opposite over adjacent, so you should have 4 over 3. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to find the sine of B, cosine of B, and tan of B. So now we're looking at, oops, not B, excuse me, C. It should be all of this. Okay, so if we're looking at C, what is the side opposite C?
3.
Okay, if we're looking at adjacent, what's the side adjacent? What's the side adjacent?
4.
And this is still the hypotenuse. Okay, so if we're looking at C, what is opposite over hypotenuse for C? Good. What is, for C, adjacent over hypotenuse? 4 over 5. And for tangent, which would be 3 over 4. Anybody confused how I'm getting these? Yes.
And you said that you can't get it for B because that's the right angle.
Because it's the right angle for us. I'm going to skip the next one because it's the exact same thing that we just did.
Oh darn.
All right. What we are going to look at is these. If we have the sine of 10 degrees, so you can either have your calculator out or you can look on the trigonometric ratio page on page 925.
Yes.
Okay, so if you push in your calculator sine of 10, you're going to end up with 0.1736. Okay, if we have the cosine of 38, we stick it in our calculator and we get 0.7880. You guys get the point?
Yes.
Tan of 44. 0.9657. Do we need to keep going?
Yes.
No.
Okay, you get it? Okay. All right, let's go to the next page. Let's try some more of these. Okay, we're looking at A. Okay, we're looking at 72. So the first thing I'm going to do is say what sides everything is. What letter is the hypotenuse? This
Y.
is
Why is it Y?
which side, tell me the letter or the number, is adjacent?
3.
Which side, number, letter is opposite? If anybody has trouble with naming what those are, please let me know, because that's going to make your life so much easier if you can understand that. All right. Let's find x first. So we know we're going to have something 72 equals a fraction. So I'm looking at 72, I'm trying to find x. And what other number am I going to be looking at?
3.
I've got x and I've got 3. So what do we want to use? Please raise our units. What are we going to use? We're going to use tan of 72. And somebody want to raise their hand and tell me how I'm going to set up my fraction? Yes, Nathan. You're going to do opposite over adjacent. Perfect. Okay? On your homework, okay, because some of you guys were asking about showing work stuff. If you have this and then the answer, I'll give you credit for it, but you have to have at least this part. Good? Okay. So you're going to cross multiply. First you're going to go tan of 72. You don't have to. You can cross multiply first. You're going to get 3.0777 equals x over 3. Multiply both sides by 3. And you get 9.2. Okay, let's find y. So we have something 72 equals our fraction. Please raise your hand if you can tell me what you're going to use in order to find y. Yes? Cosine. Please raise your hand if you want to tell me the fraction for finding cosine of 72. What fraction are we going to send up on the opposite side? Yes, Eric? 3 over y. Because it's adjacent over hypotenuse. Very nice. So we're going to get y equals 9.7. Y is approximately 9.7. You guys, just a little shortcut. If your letter is on the bottom, you just go 3 divided by this. If your letter is on the top, you go whatever you have times that. Just making a shortcut for you. So let's try this one using those shortcuts that I told you about so that you don't have to write it out. Where did we get lost? Okay, so I know 3 divided by cosine of 72 gives me 9.7.
So it's 3, or so it's...
So I cross multiplied, right? And I got cosine of 72y equals 3. And then I divided by cosine 72. So I can skip all this stuff by going straight to there. Yes?
You divide 3 by 0.30. I mean 0.3090.
Cosine of 72 is 0.3090.
Yes.
Yeah.
You divided 3 by that?
Yeah.
I got 0.10.
3 divided by cosine 72 is 9.7. Okay, let's look at this one. We've got 40. What is opposite 40? What is adjacent? And hypotenuse? Okay, let's find x first. So we've got 40, something 40 equals that fraction. So if we want to find x, we're dealing with hypotenuse and adjacent. Okay, so we're going to do what, Chris? Cosine. And can somebody raise their hand and want to set up the fraction for me? Elijah, you want to do it? Eunice? We're using cosine of 40. What's cosine say? So which one's adjacent? Okay. Good. Good. So we know that 8 divided by cosine 40 and we get 10.4. All right. Let's look at trying to find y. Okay, if we want y right here, and we're using 8, we have something 40 equals that fraction. Okay? Hold on one second. This is all going to disappear, unfortunately, because this computer's a mess.
Whoa.
Calm down. Please stop making noises. There is no point right now. Okay, so we're trying to use, we've got adjacent, opposite, hypotenuse. Okay, so we've got something 40 equals my fraction. Okay, so we're trying to find y. So we're going to use these two. So what are we going to use? Yes, tan of 40. And what is my fraction unit? Because it's opposite over adjacent. So I can simply do 8 tan 40. 8 times the tan of 40. And we get 6.71. The rest of them are very, very similar to that. I do want to show you something because 5th hour will have a sub tomorrow. Okay? And tomorrow, what you're going to look at is if I give you the sine of x equals 2/3. Please take out your calculator. Okay, 2/3 as a decimal would be 0.6667, okay? So, if you don't have a calculator, you're going to have to look the opposite way in your book. So, if you hit second sine, so you get sine to the -1, and put 2 divided by 3, it's going to give you that x is approximately 41.81 degrees. So it's going to go backwards. If you're looking in your book, you would go in your book and see if you can find 0.667. Okay? You get very, very, very close. You know it's between 41 and 42.
I got you.
Okay? Yes, sir. Okay. Let me see your calculator real quick, Steve. And you hit the second button. You have to close your parentheses around. All right. So that's what they'll talk to you guys about tomorrow. Your sub will introduce that. And there'll be stuff like you'll have a triangle. You'll know it's 90 degrees. You'll know what all the outside parts is. It'll say find angle A. Okay? So it is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, you think? It is a special triangle. Okay, so let's figure this out. If we've got A, if we want to find A, we can use any of these. Let's try cosine. Cosine of A would be which size? 3/5. So you simply take your calculator out, push second cosine, in parentheses 3 divided by 5. And you should get 53.1. So the angle A is approximately 53.1. It's a Pythagorean triple. So if I push second time, okay, so you have to do 3 divided by 5 equals, and then second time that. 3 divided by 5.
36.
Second time.
Oh, I got it.
Oh.
Oh, second cosine. Yeah. 3 divided by